Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to my mod review of Buildcraft. Now this doesn't include any add-ons, and it's based on mining, basically. So it has things such as quarries, which I'll get into later, which can do mass digging, and is very impressive actually. So, how about we begin? Alright, so the first most important part of Buildcraft is power, of course, because you're running equipment. So there are three main types of engines, and there are also several others that you can get from other add-on mods to this mod. But these are the three that are produced in Buildcraft. So you have your standard basic redstone engine, and this is what it looks like when it's at full heat. It's been running for about 15 minutes, and this is just a wooden transport pipe above, so that way it can activate. Because if there's nothing here, or if there's something that it won't be able to give power to, then it won't do anything. Here is the Stirling engine, and it is in between the redstone and the combustion engine, and it used to be called the steam engine. So what it does is it burns stuff, and I'll get into all the different Minecraft Joule outputs at last. And here is the combustion engine, and this is by far the most powerful engine. It can run up to 6 megajoules or Minecraft joules per tick, and I'm going to go from the bottom. This is the one Minecraft joule per tick output when it's at this stage. If it's anywhere else, it'll get like 0.2, 0.5, whatever, but it's very low. This one also only gives a max of 1, but it will heat up much faster. And these can all store Minecraft joules, as just if they're just holding energy and they can't put anywhere, they'll hold it. And then the Stirling and the combustion engine can actually explode. This Stirling engine used to not be able to, but now it can. So you burn whatever is made of wood, basically coal, lava, sticks, wood, whatever. And you can see that it has a heat. When it turns red, you have to be careful, because unless it's a redstone engine, it has a chance of exploding. Now the combustion engine is the most powerful. You can see it has a one insertion spot, and it has two bars, and it can run at 3 different levels, not including extra mods. The lowest is lava. It's 1 Minecraft joule per tick, and then there's oil, which is this black stuff, which is also over here. That will run at 3 Minecraft joules per tick. And the most powerful, which you can see in my hand right now, is fuel, which can run at 6 Minecraft joules per tick. And the lava lasts the shortest, the oil lasts a second, and the fuel lasts a long time. And then for the combustion engine, it also requires water, so that way it can stay cool, because once it gets to the green state with water at about 500 degrees Celsius, it will stop going up, but if it keeps going up, then it will explode. So how about we demonstrate? So I'll put a fuel bucket in. You can see it fills this up. And then I can put my water in, and you can see it fills that up. And then you take your lever or some sort of redstone activation, because under here I currently have a lever. You use this and you do that. And how about I get a transport pipe, a wooden one, because it's required to be wooden to work on any of these engines, otherwise it won't release the power. And voila, you can see that's activating. And here it says 6 Minecraft joules per tick, and you can see it's already storing up a huge amount of energy. And all that energy was storing up as it wasn't getting as it wasn't giving out the energy into the pipe. And you can see the heat is quickly rising. So that is the engine portion of this section. So next we're going to go into the refinery and the oil and fuel section. Alright guys, so real quickly, I just made this little contraption, and you can see it's working perfectly. So I just made a little man-made hole, and I filled with oil. And this currently is a pump, which I believe is a mining well with a bucket. And you can see it has 2 redstone engines, and apparently it doesn't even need that. And you can see ever so slightly that there's oil being pumped in. And apparently I must need that because it's not working anymore. So how about we reconnect it? And you can see that there's no infinite source block style or with this because this corner is caved in, and it's caved in right now. While on normal water, that would automatically refill. But you can see it's going through these pipes into this red thing here, which is the refinery. And this is basically what's required for it to run at maximum speed. So it does require a lot of power. And then you can see there's the black oil in the back. There's two tanks right here and here. You can kind of see them. And those two hold oil, while the front one holds fuel if it overflows from here. But you can see that the oil is being pulled out, and it's going to this tank, and it's yellow, or more like a lemon lime Gatorade yellow, and it runs very efficiently because I believe on certain things the oil can run at, for example, 8,000 Minecraft joules per 10,000 ticks or some weird thing, but the fuel runs at about 4 times more efficiently than compared to just oil alone. So I would say it's totally worth it putting it through a refinery, especially if you just have a couple combustion engines set up to it, because you're going to be making a lot more oil than how much fuel, or you're going to be making a lot more fuel than what you're using in combustion engines, because these have been running for about 3 minutes or so, or probably even more, and you can see how little has been used, if you can even see that. And you can see these are all storing up Minecraft joules and a lot of heat. So if we break this, you can actually see that it's slowing down by the little blue and now purple or dark blue / turquoise things that go up and down the side. Those determine on how fast it's going, and if it's red, then that's either stopped or all the way basically as slow as it can go. So how about we start that and see if it works. And what do you know, it doesn't. So the redstone engine, I've had to learn the hard way, only works on a few things. It doesn't work on everything. So it doesn't work on things like refineries or quarries, maybe, I believe. But it works on basic things like pumps. And you can see that this sucks down. This pipe goes down and it starts just pumping all the oil out. And you can see here that it's also filling up. Voila, and this tank will start filling up. And that is the basic concept of oil and fuel and the creation of fuel. So I shall be right back with some of the bigger and better parts, such as the quarries, which I believe are the most important part of this mod. Alright guys, so I'm going to take a look at the quarry. And you can see right now I have 2 of these landmarks set up, and they aren't required for a quarry or anything, except for maybe the filler, which I'll show you in a little. But they allow you to adjust the size that the quarry will mine, because it normally has a standard mining size of 9x9, but you can use these to expand to 16 chunks total, so 4x4 chunks, and it is crazy. So what you do is when you set 2, they have to, there at least has to be 2. Even if you right click, you'll see that doesn't activate because it doesn't have one to line up to. So what you do is you just go in a line and then place one, and you can see it's in line here. If you right click, you can see that it creates a box. How about I set the time real fast? Time is 0. And you can see there's this box, and it doesn't require all the corners. It just requires enough to figure out what you're going to make. Yeah. And you put the quarry on one corner. And if you saw, it flashed where it was off to the side. So how about this, or here? Let's go over here and place it. You can see that centered unlike that, and it's a 9x9 square, not the whole thing, but the inside layers. So basically this to this corner is a 9x9 area, and that is the standard shape. But you can see you can make it skinnier, wider, whatever you want. And these require a lot of power to run. So if I place these, it can take a lot more than these. So you know what, I'll tell you, I'll be right back after I set up a little efficient way to power this, because it does require a massive amount of power. It can run up to, I believe, 8 combustion engines at once and still not even get maxed out. Alright guys, so this is what the quarry looks like when it's building. So how about I turn on a couple more of these engines real quickly. And you can see it's running quite efficiently right now, and you can see it creates this frame where all the yellow and black, or black and yellow stripes are, which are like the outline frame. So as that finishes building, I'm going to turn the rest of these on so it can run at very high efficiency. Require one right there. And you can see this beam that has a diamond tip on it. And you can see just with a lot of engines it goes flying. And you can see all the sand being shot out the top. But that's not a problem, because if you just grab a chest or some sort of item like a chest, such as an ender chest, you can have it place the items inside, like so. And other than the stuff that's bouncing around, you can see that's all collecting in here, and it's going extremely quickly. But the problem about the quarry is, it is very expensive. It requires 8 diamonds, and I believe a diamond pickaxe, and just a lot of material. So that's one downside, but once you get it started, who cares, because you're going to be making all that back. And it looks very cool how it works. And some reason it actually is off by 1. I'm not sure why, but So I'll be back when it gets just about down to bedrock, and you will see the kind of destruction this thing will do. Okay guys, so the quarry is almost finished because it is just about down to bedrock, and you can see how much is gone down. And note that there will be no ores that I show you, because I have this stupid mod that I need to take off that distributes the ores differently, and it basically gets rid of them. But you can see now it's at the bedrock level, and there's only 2 things that will stop it: bedrock and lava. And both of those things, once it gets past the bottom level of bedrock, it's really weird. It goes through the bedrock and gets all the stone. It will then retreat and go back up. But you can see it just goes through it somewhat. Yeah, you can see it just went through. And it's very interesting that it does that. But it also does just skip the areas that can. So you'll see that gets cut off. It just cuts off sometimes. Like, see, it just crosses back instead of going straight over like what it was doing earlier. So conveniently, there's a lava pit placed 1 block next to it, so I had to fill in a block right there. Otherwise, it would have completely stopped the operation. And you can see now that's down to the bottom layer of bedrock. It's rising back up. And that is done. So that is basically how a quarry works. And you can see what it can do. It makes giant holes. And you can see all these are red, and they're all out of fuel, out of water, because I never refilled them. So always make sure these are filled with water, otherwise they will blow up. And I don't really feel like dealing with that right now. So how about we just destroy these? And this is just a fraction of what we got. I had to delete probably about half or a normal chest worth, just so this will fit. But you could see it takes out a lot of ore. So it's a really good mine for like even just cobble or anything. It's really good for that. So there are a few more things I'm going to go over, such as all the different pipes and a couple of the other basic items. And then you can also head over to the Buildcraft wiki and see some of the more advanced things, such as lasers and the advanced crafting table / assembly table, which are used for pipe gates, which I'll go do a quick overview on, but those pipe gates aren't going to be too descriptive. So allow me to set up, and I shall be right back once again. Okay guys, so you might be wondering why I'm showing you 3 stone bricks. And that is because they are not stone bricks. They are the 3 different types of main wooden piping. So wooden piping is what you'll be using the most of, and it's whatever is the beginning piece to anything. So you can see over here, I have a wooden transport pipe hooked up to a chest with a iron and gate on it, which I'll talk about just to do a brief description in a minute. So this is the conductive one. You can tell because it has the little red corners, and this will take power in, such as my display over here. You could see all these wooden gates right here, or wooden pipes, which I had all of the combustion engines hooked up to, if you notice, and they would only insert energy into these. They would not, if I put them here, they wouldn't connect. So that's one important thing to note. And then there's also waterproof pipes for all the above. So that's a waterproof pipe. I'll show you better look in a minute. But this one, it just takes cactus screen, put it in a crafting bench or crafting grid, and you'll get waterproofing. Put waterproofing of pipe, just putting them to shapeless recipe in the grid or anywhere, and then you will get waterproof stuff. And the facades are what makes things look nice. So you actually make these in I believe a assembly table, which is requiring things such as lasers, which is pretty expensive, but it can be well worth it because it allows you to make things such as gates. So here's what a diamond conductive pipe looks like. It's the most expensive type of pipe, but it can hold up to 1,024 Minecraft joules at a time. So that's how much it's able to transfer. So it can transfer a lot of power. Now here is a void pipe. These are very useful if you have something like that over there, where you have a ton of cobble and a ton of dirt or sand, and you don't want it. So if you get a mod from, I can't remember which one, but it has a pipe called the insertion pipe, which will insert it into the nearest inventory or the other way. So you might use something like that, or you might use a diamond pipe, which is another type of pipe. You can look all these different pipes up on the wiki, and a diamond pipe will insert it's a filter, so you could insert cobble and dirt or whatever into one way, and then you could have everything else go a different way, or have them split up in different places, and it's really interesting and really useful. So take a look at that. And this is again what a stone waterproof pipe looks like. You can see it has the green indentations in the corners, and you're gonna mostly be using stone and cobble because this is very useful if you want to make separate connections, because stone and cobblestone pipes will not connect unless you use sandstone between them. It's kind of like a border connection between the two, which is sandstone, which you could also look up. And then this is just what a standard gold transport pipe looks like. These speed up items, so it's really useful if you have a long distance to travel. If you don't have any teleportation forms or whatever, you can use these to make the items shoot really fast. But note that if you put them in a cobblestone or a stone, or pretty much any type of other pipe, it will begin to slow down until you put another one of these in. And cobble slows them more than stone. And finally, here's another really cool pipe, the iron pipe. I believe there's also a waterproof style that does the same thing, and probably even electric, but it allows you to change the direction that all things will flow. So how about we get a wrench real fast. Wrench. And this is what my Buildcraft wrench looks like. Keep an eye on that, because when you get mods like Industrial Craft and all that, it gets really confusing because you have so many different types. So how about I also grab, I don't see one. How about I just grab another one of these pipes here and connect them into different directions. And if you hit it with a wrench, you can see that this end cuts off. And that end is the end that everything will flow into. So if something flows into here or here, they will all go that way. So it's really good if you have a ton of quarries together and you have these lines like this where there's one quarry, there's another, whatnot, and you want them all flowing to this point, and you want to do fix that, and you want to do something like this, and it'll all go to that point, and you could use this or like so that way none of them will flow back here or flow over here if they're coming up here. So that way it will all go to this point, and that is a very simple way. And it seems to be getting dark, so I'm going to do this quickly. So here is a iron AND gate, and basically what happens is, see if I could do this. when you open it, you can see I currently have it set so it will send out a signal when there are items in the inventory. And the different versions, like the diamond and the gold and the iron and the standard, all have different amounts. So if you want this one, you could also have it so when the pipe is empty, you could also send a redstone signal. And this will send a redstone signal. So if we get some redstone here, and oh, I understand what it means. It's because what it does, let's see if it works here. Okay, I hope it works. Let's see, is it wire? So these different types of wire, which you can use to connect different gates, which are really useful because you can have them do all sorts of crazy complicated things. So you can see this will send out a signal, and it's not currently set up correctly because I don't have anything else like a redstone energy or any sort. And you can see you could use this wire and hook it up to another thing. So it can get, you'll have to look it all up in the wiki, but it gets really crazy. And how about we just take a look through the creative tab, and you can see there's mining wells, which are just 1 by 1 mining well or areas. Auto workbench, which you can put items in, it'll automatically craft them. Quarries, the different engines, a chute, which is kind of like a hopper, the different gates, chipsets, which are used to make things like gates, the pipe wire colors, all sorts of different things. And then these are all the facades that you can get, a lot of them. And then all the different standard pipes. And then here's a cobblestone structure pipe, which you can also use to transfer the wires between 2 different non-connecting pipes, such as a stone and cobble pipe. You can put this above them and it will link, and if you put wire on that along with the other 2 pipes, it will connect it all, and it can get really useful. And then there's all sorts of things such as pipe plugs, which will allow you to separate pipes. If you have 2 different things next, like 2 different pipe systems next to each other, you can use these in between and it won't link them. There's emerald pipes, quartz transport, and they all do different things. So this is a very impressive mod, and I would highly recommend it. So you could also see here are just like the standard springs, and again, it's very impressive, and I really think you guys should go check it out. And I hope you like my mod review. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, leave down in the comments what you want to see next and how I can improve, and I will see you later.